You're waiting for him. Okay.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Will the Giants play this week?
Yes, with a new quarterback. Think Eli be traded to Pittsburgh?
No. I thought that at first, but I said, nah. I don't think anybody's going to take it. It's a $23 million contract.
Good. It's 7:03. I call the September 18th council meeting to order. Roll call.
Bennett,
Here.
Bertolo.
Here.
Lane.
Here.
Neely.
Here.
Sinning.
Here.
Witecki. Matthews.
Here. Please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by the annual schedule of regular meetings, herefore adopted and posted on the public bulletin board of the municipal building, emailed to the Hawthorne Press, the Herald News, the Record, the Gazette, and all persons who requested the mailing of such schedule. And a copy of said schedule has remained on file in the office of the Borough Clerk from and since November 29, 2018. Approval of the minutes. Can I have approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of September 4th, 2019?
So moved.
Motion by Bertolo, second by Sinning. Any discussion? Roll call.
Witecki. Sinning.
Yes.
Neely.
Yes.
Lane.
Yes.
Bertolo.
Yes.
Bennett.
Yes.
Matthews.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Public comment. I'll now open the meeting to the public. If anyone desires to be heard, come forward to the microphone, state your name and address. Seeing none, I entertain a motion to close the public portion of the meeting.
So moved.
Motion by Sinning, second by Bennett. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Adoption of ordinances, we have none this evening. Old business, Gary, we'll start your way. John,
I had a question for Eric, but I'll wait when he gets back. That's no problem.
when do you leave?
He forgot his report.
He left
Quick, fast.
All right, Bruce.
Yes, I got a call this week from the owner of the household auctions that we discussed at the last meeting at 256 Hawthorne Ave, who just wanted to speak to me about what we had discussed at the meeting, and it seems he's new in town. He's trying to get a new business going. He wasn't aware of some of the resolutions that we were citing him for. Sorry, he wasn't aware of some of the ordinances that we were citing him for. And he said, you know, he's kind of new to town. He wants to be a good neighbor, and he wants to work with the community. He said he understands now about the signs and that, and not conducting any business out on the sidewalk or putting stuff out there. He said he really wants to keep the neighbors happy and work with us. So hopefully this matter can be put behind us now, and we'll have a new business in town who is happy and keeps the neighbors happy, and everyone wins, hopefully. So I was very glad that he reached out to me.
Bruce, when did he reach out to you, just out of curiosity?
When I got home on Monday, there was a voicemail.
Okay, only swear I said it because I drove by there Monday afternoon and he had stuff out on the sidewalk, whatever, so.
He says, yeah, he says some big,
Trying. He says, I'm trying.
he says
didn't say he
some
succeeded,
big
he's trying.
items, you know. He wasn't aware he couldn't leave them out on the sidewalk, but
Well, it was
Well, I
part
dis-
of his resolution at the planning board was no outside storage.
It's nice that he reached
I
out to
discussed,
you.
I
I know.
spoke with him on Tuesday. I guess I made
Gotcha.
the phone call on Tuesday and spoke with him, and that was the conversation we had.
No, I'm glad he reached out to you too, because from what I hear, he's trying, but
We're
we'll
gonna
school
continue to
him so
monitor
he
it.
knows what he can do, what he can't do.
Yeah, we're gonna continue to monitor the situation, I'm sure.
The zoning board, the planning board brought it up last night.
Okay?
While I would like to believe what he told you, I don't believe a word he says. He's been told by our zoning officer at least 3 weeks in a row, no outside displays. And Monday morning, the mayor saw his tables outside again with large canoes and alike. So the fact that he said he didn't know, he might not have known the first week, but the second, third, and fourth week, he has known. So we'll take him at his word for this week.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't go to the bank with it.
Well, I reiterated.
He was issued summons and is expected to pay them. He'll be in court.
And the new
Okay.
prosecutor is tough, I heard, so.
Yes.
Well, I reiterated why we had the complaints, and we'll see where it goes from here. Like I said, we're going to monitor it, I'm sure, and if he complies, excellent, and if he doesn't, well,
Got it.
the zoning officials will take the appropriate action.
Perfect. Dominic.
I'm okay.
John.
Okay, just to go on basically the same subject. The town issued summonses on 9/4. On 9/7, I took pictures outside at 9:26 a.m., which was a Saturday. Also, I took pictures yesterday at 6:24 p.m., showing everything outside. And I know he's going to court. I think it's tomorrow. He'll be in court. As far as him wanting to be a good neighbor, the neighbors that I've spoken to and have called me are so upset. They think it's a junkyard that's there right now. And as far as I'm concerned, I know we talked about it at the last meeting, and Michael mentioned that the only person that can revoke the CO is the zoning officer. And I think that is time that he does that, because this guy's not going to go anywhere. He's not going to clean up his act. He just keeps bringing up garbage, and he still has those signs in the windows, which are terrible. I mean, it used to be Bill's Busy Corner, nice little grocery store, and then it was the carpet place. Nobody complained about anything there. Now it's just it looks like a different town's main street. So I think the administration should buckle down with Gene, talk to him, and have the CO removed, because I don't think he's listening at all. I mean, if he already had the summons and he's still putting stuff out as of yesterday, I mean, and I have pictures on my phone that show that. So, and there's dates and times. So I don't think he's going anywhere, and I don't think he's going to do anything. He just keeps bringing, the trucks pull on the side, big box trucks. Did the planning board address the box trucks on the side of the building, close to the sidewalk, parked there, unloading all his garbage?
No, I don't think that came up. I think he said he'd
Well,
have
that's
an
what he does, and he
occasional,
has them parked
an
there.
occasional truck.
The trucks aren't occasional, Mayor. The trucks are parked there, and then he unloads them.
The truck was parked there as of like 5:30 today. so-
Yep.
Well, Gene has got it. I spoke to Gene today, and he's taking action, so.
Just
did he
to
say-
follow up, John, too, on what you said, on the 8th of September, which was Sunday, Sergeant Venema went there. He came to the band shell I was setting up and told me everything was outside. It was not on the sidewalk, of course, but it was just off the sidewalk, but it was outside. And
But it's
Sergeant
outside,
Venema,
Michael.
outside, yes.
Right.
And Sergeant Venema said, look, I can't give you a citation for being on the sidewalk, but there is a zoning issue that you need to deal with here. And again, verbally warned by Sergeant Venema that you're in violation of a zoning issue, and the zoning officer is going to deal with this. I can't, but he will.
But let me
So
ask-
this was on Sunday. So every day of the weekend, he was told by a different person, and every day he continued to thumb his nose at us. So I don't,
Well, let me ask a question. I guess it's a legal question. If the police see,
That's why I said what I
if the
said.
police see a violation like that, and they know it's a zoning violation, can they report back to either the zoning officer or property maintenance to issue a summons?
They did. Ben wrote a comprehensive report. He took pictures. He did everything as you would expect he would do, and he reported it all. Eric got a copy of the report first thing Monday morning, and it went upstairs to
Yeah,
Gene.
that's what we're doing with the police. They can document the
That's fine,
situation
that's
and
great.
whatever. The zoning
But Gene,
officer has
I
to
think
take
Gene's got to
action.
get stimulated a little bit.
No,
Gene.
they seem to know when Gene is not in town, and that's when this is all.
But we're all
occurring.
there.
No, but in order to be the one that's gonna be the heavy and actually go down and drop the hammer, it seems to
Well,
be
he can bring the
whenever-
police with him and drop the hammer.
But when Gene's not in town is when this is occurring.
That's why we
so-
have, on the weekends, we have the police monitoring it so they can document the conditions and give a report to Gene so he can take action.
So I don't believe Gene will be away this
Well,
weekend. so-
to make it easier for you, Gene wrote to me that his court appearance is pending, and as soon as the case is heard and based on the verdict, I will move to revoke his certificate of compliance.
Great.
How did he even get approval to hold any kind of retail at that place without any kind of parking?
Because he said it was going to be an internet business, and he said maybe occasionally once a month we'll have, a closeout, and we said, well, you can't do it during the week, there's a school there, and, they need their parking. I can't have your customers parking during school hours. We said you can do it one weekend a month, and that's turned into every weekend.
And the planning board still has
Extending beyond
jurisdiction
the
over the
weekend.
application.
Well, does that violate our ordinance because you're only allowed two sales a year?
Well,
But
he's
that's
not
a
a
fine line,
resident.
I think.
Well, that's a resident can have two garages.
Right.
This is a
This
business.
is not a garage sale. This is conducting your business. It's not a sidewalk sale either.
I know.
It is
Well, it sort of
conducting,
is.
well, but it's not, because it's not literally on the sidewalk. And, to get a sidewalk sale approved, it comes from here. To do what he's doing, it comes from the board planning or zoning, which has jurisdiction, to say you can conduct your business outside of the footprint of your building. And the planning board never gave that approval, so therefore, it's a clear violation of his CO. So, the only question is, at what point does the zoning administrator decide, I've had enough, and revoke it? And he's made it clear that after Thursday, expect something to happen.
Good. Thank you.
Any other old business?
Yeah, I do. Thank you. Is there any update with the refrigeration trailers at all?
We've had people visiting. We understand that it's gotten a little better, that it's gotten better. They have moved, I think, in between buildings that acts as a buffer.
Okay,
We haven't heard any ongoing complaints, so we hope it's gotten a little better.
great. Thank you. I would like to thank Eric for advising me of the heating elements in the ambulance building and in the library. Thank you, Eric. And also thank you, Eric, for outside the canopy was cleaned. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Works.
And is there any update on the fence on Goffel and Lafayette?
No, but we'll get you one.
The fire company has put in a request to have it moved because they are concerned that people see what's there, and they'd like it done as well, so we'll work on getting
Well,
that done.
I've been bringing it up at meetings. The chief was here last meeting,
I know,
so,
government sometimes moves slowly, and I apologize.
okay. That's all for old. Thank you, Frank.
New?
No, can I go back and ask Eric? He's here now.
Sure.
I know, I think Gene is off, or maybe he's back.
He's back.
He's back.
Now.
Today.
Primo Amori?
Yeah, he's, I also have a report on that,
Why don't
if
you
you'd
share?
like.
I drove by there too. They've moved the planters back to where they should be.
But if you want to know what the zoning official said, I stopped there around noon and observed this sidewalk as a deed blocked by a row of potted trees. At the time, the restaurant was closed, and I called and left a message that the pots must be moved and the tables will be against the building as approved by the planning board.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And that's the condition that it was at around 5:30 today, so.
Thank you, Eric. I appreciate that.
Joe, we'll start your way for new business.
Were you walking?
I'm sorry, I only have one old, no new.
All right, since you were late, we'll
I
let you go for
apologize.
old.
I was there for the patient. Thank you.
We have no patience.
I know that. Communication about the road improvement or gas line improvements up on, could I just ask that they're a little bit, they seem to be sparse when they do come out. We get nixels on little items. If I could just ask that the communication about it, if they're going to be on Mohawk, or they're going to be on whatever street they're operating on, if we could just send that out, as opposed to find alternate route, they're on
Right.
Chopin today.
Normally it comes out of police department, those nexts come out of the police department, we will speak to them about.
Well, do they have a schedule of where they're gonna be for the week, so that at least you can publish the schedule of?
I don't think so, because they say they're one place and end up somewhere else. So I think basically, they must have discovered they were working on Chopin and said, all right, we better tell people not to take Chopin or whatever. But I will talk to them about more complete nixels to
We
make
should
it
have
easy.
a 5-day, Monday through Friday alerts telling people, okay, this
Right.
is the area to be aware of.
I think that's a good idea.
That's it.
Gary?
I have nothing.
John?
I'm not sure if it's new business or we'll talk about it after the administrator, the pedestrian signs. You want to bring it up now, or we can wait till?
Well, I think you wanted a finance committee meeting
Right,
on it.
that's, yeah. I'll wait till committee reports.
Okay.
Go on there.
Bruce?
No.
Dominic? Oh, John?
Yeah, Eric, you were gonna get me a list of the traffic signs, the streets that they were gonna be put
Oh,
on?
right, I got
speed
the list. Okay.
That's all I have, Frank.
If I could just go back and just, I noticed that there's new yellow lines that are much longer, and are they throughout town? I came home Sunday from the shore, and I realized that it appears that all of Ward 1, District 2 now has yellow lines for no parking areas.
Probably 50 feet from the stop sign, if I'm guessing.
I'm just asking, did that happen
What
throughout
hap-
the borough?
Well, I think what happened was they got in their order of orange paint, so they are in the process of painting, doing curbs.
And how often do we do this?
Usually once a year, depending on the condition of the curb, you know, how bad the winter was.
All right.
Did
And it's
they-
50 feet from the stop sign or 50 feet from the curb?
Usually,
From the corner?
from the corner, it's
I think
50.
50 feet from the
I think
curb.
it's 25 from an
It's
intersection.
the
but
intersection,
but
measured
50
from the
But
intersection.
50 if there's a stop sign.
50 from the stop sign or?
No, it's the
I think
intersection,
it's 25 from the stop sign. I think it's 50 feet from the intersection, though.
right. 25 from the stop sign. And you gotta take the intersection out and
And from the,
you have to triangulate it or actually square it off.
may I ask that these measurements appear to be much longer than in the past?
I don't know what they're,
And you're talking about the yellow curbs, or?
Yellow curbs,
it's supposed to be 25, I thought it was 25 from the curb return, where the stop sign is, but I'm not positive off the top of my head. I think it starts at the curb return and then goes 25.
the family that lives at the corner of Lafayette and El Baron have utilized that parking spaces for years, and now half of their parking spaces are gone.
We'll have a
We'll
look at
check.
it.
You can park over by Justin's.
No, it's there too. It's straight up, going straight up the stop
Right.
signs.
All these years you've been
Well,
badgering us about Justin's parking. We fixed the problem.
no, you compounded the problem.
Okay, we'll look into that.
We'll look into it for you, Jeff.
Okay. Administrative agenda presented by Mayor Goldberg. Mayor, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Council President. I do want to thank the Green Team for the Green Fair Sunday at the Farmers Market. It was a great turnout. They had some great vendors, great music. If you haven't already, please make sure to attend the Farmers Market every Sunday from 9 to 2, and the market ends on October 27th. This Saturday, September 21st, is Hawthorne Day at the Pool and Borough Bandshell Grounds. See our website and Facebook page for more information. This year, I just want to add that for your pet safety, please keep your pets at home during the event. Also, they kind of worry the animals in the petting zoo, so we'd like to return the petting zoo everything that they come with. So. On Wednesday, the 25th, I'll be attending the Divert Candlelight Vigil in front of Borough Hall at 6:30. And remember, October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and I'll be giving them a proclamation at the vigil that night. Also, a reminder, the Taste of Hawthorne is Tuesday, October 1st. Please mark your calendars. See a Hawthorne Rotarian for a ticket, or stop in Borough Hall where tickets are available in the main clerk's office. and they're available from my assistant, not the clerk, so make sure that you ask for Ellen when you come in for your tickets. I want to thank our Municipal Alliance Committee for their coordination and everyone in town who donated to the fire victims of the Straight and Narrow facility in Patterson. I'm sure Councilman Mealy, you're going to talk about this later in your reports.
Yes.
But I do understand over 1,000 pounds of clothes and household goods were donated. Well, I think I indicated some time ago that our longtime prosecutor, Ralph Fava, is retiring to, well, not greener pastures, I guess, orange pastures, since there's orange groves in Florida. And that means that we need to appoint someone to replace, not that he's replaceable, someone to fill in for him. By the virtue of the power and authority vested in me as mayor of the borough of Hawthorne, I hereby appoint Patricia Quayle as prosecutor in the municipal court of the borough of Hawthorne and to fill the unoccupied expired term December 31st, 2020, and until her successor shall be appointed and qualified.
Have a motion to record?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Bennett, second by Bertolo. Any discussion? Roll call.
Bennett,
Yes.
Bertolo,
Yes.
Lane,
Yes.
Neely,
Yes.
Sinning,
Yes.
Woteki,
Yes.
Matthews.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, Patricia, if you would come up. If I had you invite your whole family, there'd be no one in the audience. I'm sure you're familiar with this room. Okay, television camera's there. I'll sit on this side of you. I'm going to ask you to raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Patricia Quayle,
I, Patricia Quayle,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United
and the
States
Constitution
and the
of the
Constitution
State of New Jersey,
of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the governments established
and to the governments established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state
and in the state
under the authority of the people,
and under the authority of the people,
and will perform the duties of
and will perform the duties of
prosecutor of the borough of Hawthorne,
prosecutor of the borough of Hawthorne,
faithfully,
faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly,
and justly,
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Patricia has been working with our prosecutor for about 3 years, and I think, what's the old expression? You taught her everything she knows, not everything you know. This time I call upon Borough Attorney Michael Pasquale for his report.
Thank you, Mayor. Congratulations, Patricia. I'm glad that with another retirement, I'm now the second oldest attorney on staff after, thank God for Darrell Siss, who has me by about a year. But congratulations and welcome aboard. I do want to report briefly on the affordable housing matters. They continue to bear hopeful fruit in the sense that we're having meaningful discussions with property owners on Goffel Road and on Wagaraw Road.
You can clear a room, can't you, Mike?
Unbelievable. All right.
I'm listening.
That's all right. Anyway, so we continue to have discussions. We are very hopeful that we'll be able to bring you some projects that are good for the borough of Hawthorne within the next several weeks. And again, we'll keep plugging away. On the legal end, there's not much else to report. However, on the band shell end, I do have a lot to report, and that is we have concluded another band shell season. I want to thank everybody for their support throughout the season. We had a tremendous year. We started out with some rain issues, which pushed everything into July and August, but after that we had some great concerts. We had 2 great movies. And then we capped it off on the 8th, on Sunday, with Fight for Autism 4. It was a great event. For those who don't know or didn't recall, Rick Merchant, who was really the backbone, the drummer on 15 of the 31 songs we performed, was in a very serious motorcycle accident 2 days before the concert. John Mornett and Anthony Palouse, young Anthony, picked up all 15 songs and learned them in 2 days, and the show went off without a hitch. So thank you to everybody. It was a great night. The kids were phenomenal. It was a little long, and I think for next year's show we will be scaling back the ambition of 31 songs. But you know, it's just a great night for a great cause, and I thank everybody who attended. I do want to recognize, because I think it's very important, the performers who performed. All Hawthorne High School graduates, with, well, a violin player we imported, but by and large, Hawthorne High School people, Terry Civalella, Tammy Moore, who just had a milestone birthday, I won't say which milestone, George Toji, Helen Radke, Pete Stern from class of 79, Vera Gatto, Brendan Anthony, Steve Seitzman, Mark Sloopmaker, Jim Clegg, Bob Lamb, Rich Tanis, Rick Merchant, John Warnett. And then we had our kids squad, who were just great. Anthony Lamone, Chrissy Ciara, Bella Palouse, Erin Foley, and of course the great Anthony Palouse. And if you didn't see him perform at the end and do Love Shack, it was memorable. It was really good. Special thanks to Lisa Sloopmaker, my assistant in staging all of this, and to Lori Foley and to Fire Company Number 1, who allowed us use of their hall for rehearsals throughout. So the good news for everybody is that next year the musical direction will not be headed by me. It'll actually be headed by a musician, and we're going to try to really increase the quality of the performance, which is already very good. We're going to make it better. John Warnett will be taking over the lead in that regard, and I'm very excited about it. We are also showing Rocky Horror Picture Show, October 5th. That's a Saturday night at the Bandshell, 8 o'clock. We will have costume prizes. We'll have other events there. So mark it down, Saturday, October 5th, Rocky Horror Picture Show. You can bring bread. We'll have a toaster. And that concludes my report, Mayor.
Thank you, Michael. Next, I call on Mike Kelly for his report.
Thank you, Mayor. The first item on our agenda is Goffle Hill Water Storage Tank. We had soil samples taken, and we expect the results in the next 7 to 10 days. For the Mary Street Water Storage Tank, we were scheduled to have a pre-construction meeting last week. That was canceled. We're rescheduling that for next week. For the Bandshell restroom yard inlet, that the contractor has adjusted the yard inlet. There's some soil restoration that has to be performed. We're expected to have that done shortly. For the 2019 DOT municipal aid project, that was Arlington Ave Phase 2 and Alexandria Avenue. The concrete work has been completed, and the milling and paving of the roads are expected to be completed by the end of September. For the 2019 road program, we still have to pave the DPW parking lot. We have to install the top course there and address some of the punch list items. We're waiting on a schedule from the contractor, and we'll have that schedule over to administration shortly. The Tuxedo Avenue drainage improvements, we're working on coming up with a solution to that, and we expect to have our recommendation within 2 weeks. The LSRP services for the Gateway to the Passaic River project, we found 2 anomalies when they were doing their site investigation. We're working with the DPW to investigate those areas. For the Passaic Avenue sewer lining project, we expect to be out to bid within the next week. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Michael. And now my cleanup hitter, Eric Maurer, and his report.
Well, thank you, Mayor. A revised resolution R170, 180 is on the dais. A proposal from Schottmeyer that we received late provided a better combined price for the HVAC unit at the library and the ambulance corps garage bay heating unit, and so we've made that change. Our cell tower lease for the DPW tower expires in December this year after the final renewal term. With help from the borough attorney, I've prepared and issued bid specifications for a successor lease. If all goes well, we should be awarding a new lease in October. Michael's also been assisting me with revisions to bid specs for garbage disposal for the Mid-Passaic County Cooperative Pricing System, for which Hawthorne is the lead agency. Because the total estimated cost for the 6 towns in the co-op over 5 years is over $10 million, approval of the state comptroller is required prior to bidding. This week we've been working on the comptroller's requested changes, and we hope to be out to bid by the end of next week. I've been working with both the unions and the council's insurance committee on possible cost-saving changes to our employee health benefits. More to come on that later. Our finance director, Lori Foley, is working on the budget forms to distribute to departments for next year, and so hopefully within the next week or so we'll have our department heads hard at work on budget preparation. And finally, anticipating the passage of R-179-19, the North Haledon tax collector has been working with our staff to prepare for a tax sale for this year, which we hope to have in early to mid-November. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Eric. Council President will be happy to answer any questions.
Joe, we'll start your way.
I have no questions.
And I'm happy not to have to answer.
Gary.
I have no question.
John.
Well, Eric and I have communicated all week or two. We're good.
Bruce.
Just a quick question for Mike. What time is this screening of the Rocky Horror Picture Show on the 5th?
8 p.m.
We're not going with the traditional
Should be midnight.
We made a request of the administration for midnight. He said you could do midnight, just
Not
here.
in Hawthorne.
Yeah, midnight was a little aggressive given the number of
Neighbors,
residences in proximity, so we thought 8 o'clock would do.
8 p.m.'s good. Thanks.
Dominic. I'm okay. John.
I'm good, thank you.
Eric, I had 2 questions for you. One regarding the underground investigation over on WAG. When is that going to be completed?
We were expecting to use our backhoe to excavate the 2 anomalies that Mike referred to in his report. It's been out for repair and we just received back today, so that will be scheduled soon, and so that we can make sure we know that there's nothing that is problematic there, and we then can complete the project.
So we only have one backhoe in town? Yeah. And it'd take a month to repair?
Can we use the 2 that are parked over here on Lafayette across from, that just sit there by the Celtic Corner?
I don't think that we can use other people's.
They haven't moved, and I brought it up months ago.
And there's
They
2
just sit
along
there.
Royal,
Just rent them.
Ave, too.
Yeah.
Maybe they're
I'm
waiting
just
for
curious,
repairs.
what took a month to repair a backhoe?
I'm not sure. I think there were an issue with parts that had to be ordered, but I can get more information and get back to you.
It also has to be trucked to and fro, so there's a couple of days each way. So there's a week in trucking back and forth.
We did have access to a backhoe if we needed it, but in this case, our engineer had a backhoe driver, a backhoe operator who wasn't a borough employee, and we didn't want to borrow another town's backhoe to let someone who wasn't a borough employee use it. So that's the reason why we waited for our backhoe to come back. Raina is under time constraint to get it done before, with her grant deadline, and she's working to do that, and we think we will make.
That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, we think we'll make the deadline.
Okay. And where do we stand with the alternate garbage collection vendor? I mean, 2 pickups ago, they just completely forgot my neighborhood. I did not forget that they did that. You may have. The line in the sand was crossed. We can't just ignore that. What was the response from the vendor? Oops. I mean, they could have lied and said a truck broke. They didn't have the decency to do that. I know we said we were going to alternate bid it and it was going to be more money, but at what point do we say enough is enough? That point is beyond my rearview mirror now.
Well, I will review again with the attorney what we need in order to break the contract, and
How about call their bond and say they're not fulfilling their duties? I mean, I'm okay on a bulky waste if they miss it on a Friday and they come back on a Saturday. Some people in it may not be, but a truck gets full, I totally understand, you gotta come back the next day. But when it doesn't happen till Monday, the only reason it happened was because you called them and said, oh, you forgot a neighborhood, there's a problem.
There was a problem, yes.
And we
it's
as
been
borough
recurring.
representatives, and you, and this is not directed at you at all, Eric, all of us collectively shouldn't have to have a vendor be reminded to pick up garbage in a neighborhood.
Can't disagree with that.
I'm on record saying the time has come.
All right, the only danger you have of you pull the bond is that bonding company can hire the same
Well, I don't
company
care,
to
because
do
then
that.
it's the bonding company that we go complain to at that moment. Because then if they don't complain, then we sue the bonding company for not fulfilling their obligation.
Then it
Our
costs us-
residents
it
deserve
costs us
to be
more money for
represented by a
attorney.
garbage collection company that will do their job. These people are not doing their job. And I'm not saying that you guys are not, because you've been working with them, and I know we backcharge them, but there's a point in the time that they passed.
What's the answer, Frank?
The answer is rebid it. We have done that. We've gotten prices. It's gonna cost us more. It's unfortunate, but how many times Gary has said, oh, by the way, my garbage is still out there? How many
about me?
times, Joe, and forget the quality of service, you know, the mess on the street, the slime on the streets. I don't want to be the bad guy up here, but I got plenty of calls this last 2 pickups ago. Granted, I prayed they would come this weekend, and there was no problems on Friday, and I'm thankful. Everybody did their job, but I don't know how you forget a whole neighborhood.
I brought up the fact that one of their trucks is their colors, but it's a commercial vehicle. It has no markings on it at all. No address, no name of the company, and if I'm not mistaken, a commercial vehicle
Has to have.
has to have an address, and they said, well, it would look bad if we give it a ticket because it's representing the borough. Okay, let's look the other way.
Well, who said that?
I'm not giving up names.
Well, did you tell the administrator and the mayor?
Oh, John, I'm to the point where
Well,
I'm
that's what I'm
tired of
saying.
sending emails.
Well.
I'll show you how many emails. Since August of 2018, I've been
Listen, I'm
complaining.
not defending the garbage company, but when you say, I talked to somebody, they wouldn't give him a ticket because it's representing
I
the
sent
borough.
pictures of slime coming out of the garbage truck. I sent them to Eric.
Right.
I sent them to administration. Nothing got done.
Well, there was a fine. They were fine. They were.
They continued going up the street.
But
And
they
I
were
was
get-
told you need to do it immediately while it's happening. And I did. I did it immediately. I called 427-1800. Nothing got done. So I'm to the point where I stopped talking about it. It's been a year. Stop talking. Now Frank looks like the bad guy. I don't have to.
Mayor, when's the contract up?
Year and a half.
Year and a half.
Frank,
So, I mean, I'm not gonna put up with something for another year and a half, whether
Well,
I'm a councilman
keep
that's
in
still there or
mind,
not.
we're in the process of bidding right now. We're gonna be bidding for
Disposal.
disposal. That does impact where, obviously, the garbage contract,
we
where
have to take
they.
the lowest bid?
Sorry?
We have to take the lowest bid?
Well, the lowest responsible bid, yes.
That's the problem we have.
Well,
No, I'm to the point, I just want to defend myself. Because every time I bring up there's a problem with a contract, whether the contract's not enforced, or whether it's the garbage hauler or another company in town, or whether it's the guy on Warburton on the corner there who sells it like it's a flea market, it's okay. So that's how it feels lately. You bring up what the problem is, and administration is okay with it.
Well, you're
We're not
entitled
okay
to
with it.
you're entitled to that opinion, and I understand your frustration.
August of 2018 to this point, and now Frank's carrying the football. John Lane's brought up
I will-
multiple times
I will
about.
tell you for a fact that the garbage company was ticketed for releasing sludge on the street, and they were in court and paid a fine
For a whole week, they didn't pick up Frank's district's garbage.
for a whole week. They only get once a week pickup, Joe.
Yeah, they had a week.
So you're saying it sat out for a week, 2 weeks before it got picked up?
I got picked up on Saturday. It went out,
No,
right?
picked up
Friday,
on
it got picked up
Monday.
Monday
Got
afternoon,
picked up on Monday. That would be a weekend.
4 days.
Not a week.
Okay,
3
so
days
4 out of
does not a
7
week
days.
make, right.
The point wasn't to have an argument or
I
to bring it up.
don't. I
The
just
point
felt
is,
like I needed to defend myself.
and I understand that. The point was that.
I don't think anybody was attacking you. You decided to defend yourself, then you must have attacked yourself. Because we said nothing to you about anything you complained about. So you wanted to create an issue, if that's your intention.
I-
I know there's an election in 2
It's
months,
not. I
Joseph,
felt that John
and if all you
Bertolo was
wanna do is
questioning
create
why.
an issue-
I'm not blaming administration for attacking me. I felt John Bertolo was questioning why I didn't name the party who.
No, I didn't want you to name the party. My question was, did the administration know that there were no markings on the vehicle? It appeared to me you went to a police officer who said, we don't want to give a ticket, it looks bad for the town. My point is, they deserve a ticket, but I go through chain of command.
And
I don't go to a
we've
police
told the
officer
police
and get a
not-
story
not
back.
to-
And
No,
and
John,
we'll-
I was told to go directly to the police officer by administration
What, if the vehicle wasn't marked?
so that I could do it right then and there because I was sending the pictures to Eric. And he says, don't do it.
Send it to police, but
There we go.
if there's an issue and the officer says we're not going to do anything, I would like to know about that. so
I
we
just
can
think the
deal with
communications
police.
can be better in that sense. I'm not criticizing your complaints or Frank's complaints or John. We know what we have. We had this with the last vendor, and B&B came to the rescue. To be right, we remember that?
Right,
And
they were
now
the conquering
B&B,
heroes, right?
They were the hero, and now they're the goat, and they should be the goat. All I'm saying is that there's a chain of command that should be followed, and I think the administration needs to know if there's an issue.
What I've been doing myself is I've been CCing the council president every time I send an email now.
Let's steer this back forward. It was not meant to start an issue with that. I was clear in my email that we're ready to move on, Eric. Please do your due diligence.
We'll get you a legal opinion from the attorney. That's the most we can do at this point.
I know what the legal opinion is, because 2 weeks ago, or a month ago, when we were ready to call the bond, we did investigate options. So if we were good enough to do it then, we're good enough to do it now.
Well, at that point, it was the contractor we were led to believe was walking off the job, and that's, and
Which would have been an amen. But this is lack of performance, and we have a clear pile of lack of performance. So I'll leave it at that. We'll end the conversation, and we'll conclude the administrative agenda, unless you have anything else, Mayor.
No, the council president, that concludes the
I think it's
administrative
best if we
agenda.
just end it now. So can I have a motion to record the administrative
So moved.
agenda?
Second.
Motion by Mealy, second by Lane. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Introduction of ordinances, we have none. We have resolutions, consent agenda R177-19 through R180-19. 177-19 is Hawthorne Day special events. R178-19, refund of overpayment of water bill. R179-19, shared service agreement with North Haledon for tax collector. R180-19, replacement of HVAC at the library. Well, that should also say also at the ambulance corps as well.
Correct.
Yeah. Have a motion.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Sinning, second by Mealy. Any discussion?
Yes.
John.
Michael, is it all right if I vote on this?
On which?
On the resolution for the heating?
R-180? No, because half of it's at the ambulance
But
building.
it's a matter of, it's not something pertaining to the actual ambulance corps, it's something for the
It's a
building.
borough building.
It's for the building.
Is it really important to you to vote on it?
No, I'm just asking, I'm just.
My recommendation would still be to abstain.
Okay, that's all I'm asking, sir.
You know, you
Let's
could
stop it right-
probably, if
let's
we
stop it
needed
right
it, we
there.
could
That's
get
it.
you.
That's enough for me.
Okay, thank you, John. But we know how you feel.
Roll call.
Wolcheki,
Yes.
Sinning,
Yes.
Mealy,
Yes.
Lane,
Abstain on the ambulance corps and the library heating, yes on all others.
Bertolo,
Yes.
Bennett,
Yes.
Matthews.
Yes, 1.5 times for John's makeup on his air conditioning unit.
Motion carries.
Reports of special council committees. John, we'll start your way.
We have a Board of Health meeting tomorrow night. After the meeting, I'll report back.
Thank you. Dominic.
I'd like to thank, this is Municipal Alliance. First of all, I'd like to thank the people of Hawthorne for, I guess, donating their clothing for Straight and Narrow. I'd like to thank the chief of police. He drove the vehicle down here and delivered it all. And also, I'd like to thank Michael for running a good job at the band show. And I'd like to thank the people who came to those two meetings, to two movie nights, I mean. We gave out popcorn, we gave out beach balls, we gave out, what do you call it?
Frisbees.
Frisbees. Everybody was polite, and they enjoyed the meeting. They enjoyed the movies. I want to thank the people for that. Thank you, Mike. That's it.
Yes, this month's Public Works Committee is scheduled for Monday, the 23rd at 6:30 PM.
Okay. John?
Hoping we can put together a finance meeting for Monday, the 23rd. If we're good, to discuss the pedestrian safety signs and the speed limit or speed display electronic signs.
What time, John?
4:45, I guess, Frank.
That works.
That should work for me.
And I guess my only thought, Eric, and the mayor, is to have maybe the chief of police there and Sergeant Geyer.
Sure.
And I would think you would have the paperwork, Eric, with the locations,
Okay.
so we can discuss, how we
We'll
want
at
to go
least have
forward
the
with it.
chief for you. I don't know what's,
However, yeah.
what's Sergeant
yeah.
Geyer's schedule.
With the information, so
Right.
we're not,
Yep.
so we're prepared to move and go forward.
100%.
So, I will say that, Eric, I guess we finally got some prices, and I'm not sure it was a misunderstanding between myself and Steve Boswell with the prices, but it looks like they're about $5,500 a unit, a double-sided unit. You need 2 units per intersection.
The
So it's
flashing
about
lights, John?
the flashing lights, the LED. So it's about $11,000 an intersection.
Per street.
So, per street intersection.
Right, per
Correct.
crosswalk.
crossing.
How's that?
Crossing,
Per
per
crosswalk.
crossing.
Right. So originally, I think I thought it was 12,000 a unit, meaning
Yeah,
24,000.
right.
So that's what concerned me. So at least we're moving forward and,
Yes, but what can we do, 5 o'clock?
Oh, I don't care.
5 works.
Usual 4:30?
Even better.
I have a presentation that's going on.
5 o'clock's fine, Eric.
5 o'clock's fine. Yeah, no problem. I was making it earlier for you, for your convenience.
Well, I got a
Sandwich
DPW
for the
meeting
mayor.
at
6:30.
6:30.
Well, then
so-
we'll be done by then.
Yeah, so, but I'm saying, I'm not going anywhere.
Bring a sandwich.
Bring a sandwich for the mayor.
That's all I had, Frank.
Gary?
I have none.
Joe?
The next Shade Tree meeting is October 7th. If I could also, I was happy to report that the stakes for the trees were going to be removed. We're still waiting for that. I do know that the contract said that they were supposed to be removed. They have not been yet.
Okay.
Stakes that held up the
That
last
held
tree
the tree up?
planting.
If I could, 1 second, while Joe reminded me of something with Shade Tree. Eric, did we ever give Sergeant Geyer the locate 93 Hawthorne Ave with the new tree by the traffic sign? To look into that?
That was blocking it.
Oh,
They planted a tree about 6 feet from the electronic sign. They're blocking the electronic sign.
was it 93 what street?
93 Washington Ave.
I wouldn't even give it to Guy. Just give it to Kevin.
I think they.
Not
just
Kevin
put-
Downs, Kevin, our arborist.
Alberta.
And he'll put it on the list to have it yanked.
How fast is your tree going?
Well, no, what the problem
In
is,
the
it's
wind?
probably because of the solar. It blocks
Blocks
the,
you're right.
Well, it's not even, so you can't see it.
Yeah.
As you're coming down the street, you don't see the sign
Kevin
anymore
will-
because the tree is in the way.
Kevin will make the recommendation, because
Okay.
guaranteed they didn't even think of the height issue. It's more of a distance.
It
to
just
the-
got planted. It's a
Yep.
new, the only, I guess, is somebody should talk to the resident if they're gonna do something. If they're gonna move it down the
Okay.
street or, it's a corner house, so maybe they're happy if they put it on the other side. I'm not sure. We don't have a lot of residents who volunteer. I'm guessing,
Ever since we had the list that was sent out, there's still a percentage of people who are calling, but the majority of the time that they turn the people away is when they're standing out front with the tree ball.
so you gotta work early in the morning when the
People aren't there.
They just didn't think we were serious when we said we gotta plant a tree.
That's all I had.
Gary?
You-
Joe? Oh, we're
Already
back
did.
to you. That's it?
Oh, yeah, October 7th, the next Shade Tree Commission.
Wow, I've heard that.
And if you can have them, hold them to their contract to have those stakes taken out, I'd really appreciate it.
Okay, planning board met last evening, and we had 2 new businesses moving into town. Actually, one is a return business. The Lighthouse Pregnancy Resource Center is going to be moving into the Heart and Lung Center building. They're buying it and
Wow.
taking over the entire facility.
Wow.
If you remember, they were in where the Bear Cave was
Yeah.
a while ago. So they went from like a 2,500 square foot building to occupying a 10,000 square foot footprint. And they said they're going to be filling every square inch of it with people.
What about the I was joking about the backhoe, but the backhoes that are there and the big hole, are they gonna?
That's not them, but obviously they're hoping that will be filled in
There's
before.
a problem with the building.
Yeah, we told them that they got a swimming pool next door that they could use.
It's
Obviously,
the Heart and Lung, isn't that the Heart and Lung?
No, different, it's a different owner.
That's Frank's.
Really?
That was Frank's Deli, that building.
yeah.
I thought he had bought that property to expand
He was-
going out.
Going to, this is the Van Busikums that own this building that they're buying.
Heart and Lung.
Heart and Lung, yeah. So they're buying it from the Van Busikum family or, yeah.
Years ago.
Yeah.
You got parking, Frank, there?
Yeah,
Yep, and it's also in the
back.
business
It's in the
area,
right zone
so
anyway.
you really don't need it by code anyway. So that business is coming back to town, and we're getting a bait and tackle store coming to town
Really?
on the lower end of Wagger Road,
By the river.
Goffle.
or Goffle Road, I guess it's Goffle
I
there.
think it's 47,
47, 48.
45, something like that.
Used to be an old hair salon in there. It's across from like Enterprise.
Oh, yeah,
Car Rental.
yeah.
As a matter of fact,
I want to call it was like purple, something to do
Yeah.
with the word purple.
this applicant's mother used to be the hair salon proprietor, and it's going to be run by him and his 4 boys when they get old enough. So he was very energetic, and he asked that the community help support him. I said it was a nice, wholesome business, and I hope he does well.
I do too.
Also having to do with the planning board, last week was our annual fishing derby. We had over 200 children in attendance.
Good
Chamber,
segue.
not the planning.
Chamber, right?
Oh, I'm sorry, Chamber of Commerce. There was about 150 fish that were caught and personally weighed and measured by yours truly.
Oh, the fish
The
master.
smell?
Yeah. Yep. The largest fish of the day was a 2-pound catfish. It was about 14 or 15 inches long.
Nice fish.
So there was prizes for longest fish, most fish, and heaviest fish, and
kid with
3 age
The
groups.
Boston hat on, did he get most?
The Boston young man got the most fish.
Wound up with 22, I think.
Yeah, 22 fish.
Oh my
Correct.
God,
They
really?
stopped stocking the
He kept
pond.
bringing back.
They haven't stocked the pond in years, but there were crappie, there were sunny, there were suckerfish, a carp,
No
a
eels?
number of bass.
No eels?
No eels, and 1 big catfish. So,
And one sucker, right?
yeah, 1 sucker. Yeah, the sucker was pretty big too. So a good time was had by all, and the weather was good. So look for next year to be equally as fun.
So that water must be fairly good, is it? It's
And,
holding that many fish.
And the big blue heron was sitting there waiting for dessert.
Yeah, he's decided. Sits up there.
So that concludes my council committee reports. Correspondence, we have none, but we have bills. Can I have a motion to approve the bills and forward them to the treasurer for payment? So moved. Motion by Bertolo, second by Mealy. Any discussion? Roll call.
Bennett,
Yes.
Bertolo,
Abstain on Downs Tree Service, yes on all others.
Lane,
Abstain on the fire department and the ambulance corps, yes on all others.
Neely,
Yes.
Sinning,
Yes,
Oteki,
Abstain on the fire department, yes on all others.
Matthews.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Public comment, now open the meeting to the public. If anyone desires to be heard, please come forward and state your name and address.
Eric, what did you bring?
Craig Gaetano, 59 Pasadena Place. I wanted to thank the administration for donating the straight and narrow. I know it was a rough patch for everybody, and we definitely appreciate it. Thanks so much. I wanted to address Mr. Matthews. I appreciate you standing up for us. There's been a lot of issues with trash. Over a year of people complaining about busted cans, leaking trucks, and I'm just a little taken aback by this last comment by Mr. Meyer here about the contractor possibly walking off the job. Is there something more that can be shared about that?
There was a rumor that he was going to give up municipal business. And when we approached him after he said, it was never my intention to give up my municipal business. So that was the rumor. Someone started the rumor, and as soon as there was the rumor out there, we had garbage companies come to us and say, we're willing to pick up his contract if he decides to leave the municipal business.
Gotcha. I don't think anybody wants us to pay more, but we have to be treated the way we all deserve to be treated on this. So I trust that you're going to come up with a solution. And obviously, if we got to rebid anyway, I don't know the process involved with that, but I appreciate you guys looking into it and taking it serious. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Does anyone else wish to be heard? Seeing none, I entertain a motion to close the public portion of the meeting.
So moved. Second?
Motion by Bertolo, second by Sitting. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Closed session pursuant to NJSA 10:4-13 and the Attorney General's formal opinion 29-1976. I entertain a motion to adopt Resolution CS 07-19 that the public be excluded from the portion of this meeting in order that the council may discuss affordable housing litigation. Items that are discussed in closed session can be disclosed to the public when a course of action has been determined or a decision has been reached. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Sinning, second by Mealy. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Geez, I didn't even get to vote nay.
I like